Hey, welcome to Picks and Sticks. This is Chris, and today we're interviewing Elliott Prather. And
Right there.
man, I hit mute and it still did it. Anyway, Elliott Prather's with us. Elliott, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit?
Well, it's Prather actually, but it's okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I meant to ask you that
It's
beforehand.
it's all good, man. Yeah, I'm just a singer songwriter. I've been playing for a little while and met Chris here at a open mic in Ball Ground last weekend or the weekend before that, and I'm just here and I'm just making music. So
So, so how did you start getting into music? Obviously, you're really good at this, and you've been doing it. It seems like probably 10 years or so. But why don't you tell your story of how you got started?
shoot. Honestly, like I wasn't one of those people that was started in music. Like I didn't go. I wasn't forced to play an instrument. Like I wasn't put in front of a piano or given a guitar and be like given taking lessons all the time. I took karate before I started playing music, but once I got my black belt, I was like, nope, I'm done. I did this. And then I went and started taking guitar lessons, and that was when I was 10. And then after that, I took guitar lessons for the next few years, and I started. It just came naturally to me. After like a few years, I was pretty affluent in it. I'm still not great by any means. I don't know all the technical crap, but you know, it's just one of those things that I've you live and learn, and just like growing up in normal life, you're getting those skills and you're building on those skills and improving as the years go by and time goes on. And that's what I'm hoping to do with my songwriting and with performing and everything like that. And I've already seen a big difference in performing because I started playing out places and gigging about a year ago, about when I was 17 back in January. So I've done better at that since then, I think.
Awesome. So we have quite a few people listening in here, and if you guys don't be afraid to send in some live chats about ask questions and stuff like that yourself. Um, so where do you typically play at? Where can people come and see you play?
Here late, I started out at Catch 22, but I haven't been there in a while. But here lately, I've been pretty regularly at Fajita Grill on Highway 20 in Cumming. Um, been playing there on Saturdays from 6 to 9 whenever I can, and have some off days. This month, I don't know when I'll be back specifically. I haven't set any dates yet, but this weekend I'll be at Butts and Barley on Highway 20 in Lathamtown area. It used to be where the Corner Cafe was. Now it's Butts and Barley Smokehouse right there on 20 and Arbor Hill where they fork off. But I'll be playing there from 6 to 9 this Saturday.
That sounds great. So if you guys want to go see him, that's where he'll be. Um, so obviously, I've done a little research on you, and you do the videos and stuff, and they're really good actually. He does these videos where like he'll have like seven different videos put into one, and he'll play the bass, he'll play the guitar, he plays the drums, sings, and puts it all into like a little mashup type thing. That's the best way to describe it, I guess. But how did you get started in that? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what happened was I got I wanted the recording setup thing that I have for Christmas. I got it that one year back in like 2015, I believe. That's when I first started. And at first, when I started the YouTube channel, a girl at my church, she had started one and started putting some songs out there of her just picking and playing, and that's what I started to do. And the first few videos is just me with my guitar, set up my phone, and just filmed it and had that audio and all that stuff. And then for that Christmas that year, I got the recording bundle thing from Guitar Center, and then I put it in a closet up here before I moved into this room, and I was recording out of it. And then I started recording the vocals and the guitar stuff, separately to get the better quality, and then putting those together. You can see it in some of the earlier videos that I have up there. And then I just kept building on and building on as far as like the complexity of the mix and the recording. So I started adding in electric guitar along with the acoustic guitar, and then harmonies and stuff like that. And then I got a bass, $65. Thank you, Music Go Round and Lilburn. But yeah, I just started building from there, and then I got the drum set there too, and started doing those. I still mix in computer drums every now and then. So if you don't see the drums and you hear drums, that's because they're not me playing. But shh, don't tell nobody.
No, and you do pretty good. I mean, you would never. I mean, how long you been playing drums? It seems like you've been playing drums longer than guitar almost. I mean, you do pretty well with them.
Well, thank you. I don't think so, but um, my biggest thing is keeping the right time. I suck at like staying steady beat, but once most of the time with musical instruments, I'm not great at any of them, but I can work my way around them if that makes sense. So like with the drums, a buddy of mine that I played with and still play with, but he had a drum set and brought it to church. Me and a couple guys from church played together, and we got together, and he brought the drum set, and then he showed me like the basic like that kind of rhythm and all. And then after that, I picked up on like the different things, like the rides and different time signatures. And then that last video I did, some days, that was a hard one to do because I tried to emulate that sound of the drums, but it never really worked out all that well. I think it turned out okay though, but it's not like exactly the same because Sturgill's drummer is a really good drummer. A lot of those bands that I listen to have really good drummers, and I wish I could do that. But it's just fun. It's just a matter of getting that sound right when you're recording them, you know?
Right. Hey, so if you there's a little bit of video issues, and it's just going to come and go. He's up in North Georgia, and that's just it's the nature of the game with that. So, so growing up, so who do you um like if you had to pick one person, like say you had a car ride, trip, and you only had to have one CD, who would you put on that CD?
Oh God. As far as listening to the whole time, I don't know, man, because that's a tough one. Because you got certain artists that like you like only some of their albums. Okay, better. Let's narrow this question down. One album or like a playlist of all their stuff.
One artist.
Oof, that's hard. I'd say Chris Stapleton probably
Yeah.
out of all of them. Him or like Luke Combs or somebody. I like Eric Church too. All those people like I really like their sound and I just love their songwriting and it's more poppy, which that's not really my forte on a individual level, but as far as like listening to it over and over again, I'd say him, yeah. Chris Stapleton.
So you're saying, like, if you were playing, would you be more old country or new country?
It's definitely the old. I'm an old soul. My girlfriend tells me I'm an old man.
Yeah. When you told me you were 18, I was shocked. I mean, obviously you look a little bit younger, but I didn't think you're eight. I mean, you just graduated high school, right?
Yeah, a couple months ago. Well,
But
a month ago.
um, if you could perform with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
I thought about this one a while because I watched the last video you posted, where you interviewed Scott Reeves, and I thought about that question. I was like, well, like you got all these big names like in music, like mainstream and stuff, and like I thought of like George Strait, I thought of Chris Stapleton, I thought of Travis Tritt, people that I really like and stuff that are more big. And then like as I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I think I'd go with Tyler Childers and his band, the Food Stamps, because I'm really impressed with the band's ability. He's got a really good band and I love his voice and his albums are great. I love all his songs too. And I just think we have that same vibe going, you know, I feel like we'd get along good and feel like we like the same stuff and jam out really well.
So, what about Cash? Do you like Cash at all?
I do, but it's not Johnny Cash for me is like a little bit in and out on certain things, just because I don't think I could listen to Johnny Cash all day, but I do like Johnny Cash. I'll put it that way.
Um, what do you enjoy more? You would think do you enjoy putting these videos together and putting those on YouTube, or do you enjoy performing? Which one do you enjoy the most? I guess.
Depending on the day, man.
Yeah.
Because the videos, they take a whole lot of time for me to do and do them right anyway. And recording in general takes a lot of time for me, just because I'm not any producer or anything like that. I'm more of a singer songwriter than I am an engineer, put it that way. But I'd say most of the time it's performing, but just because of that audience interaction, especially when I have a good crowd that interacts with me and knows the songs that I'm singing. Because a lot of times I go places and when it's not my crowd and I'm playing to a bunch of other people, some people chime in just depending on where I'm at. But like, I don't know, it just depends. It depends on the crowd too, because I'm playing a bunch of old stuff. I got a kind of niche crowd, maybe I guess.
What age did you start performing?
Last year, 17. 17 is when I started. Played my first gig at I Love New York Pizza, where Catch 22 is now in Free Home, and played there twice. And then started playing at Catch 22. And then from there, I went on to Uncle Pepper's up here in Ball Ground for a couple times, and then Fajita Grill, and now Butts and Barley. So I'm trying to get around.
So how often do you think you perform?
I try, depending on where I'm at. Like past few months at Fajita, I've basically been playing. He, I get to go every Saturday, but like if I have a different gig or I have something else that weekend, I don't play. So it's usually like an average of once, twice a month right now. Just depends on the schedule. Sometimes it's 3 times, sometimes it's none, sometimes it just depends.
So would you want to pick up do you want to perform more or less? You think?
For the money, I want more, but I mean, it's not just about that. It's about me and the crowd and interacting and sharing my music and getting out there. That's the one thing that I like about doing stuff like this is getting out there and being able to interact with people, and because it's cool. The best part about it for me is to go and hear people's reactions from a song I sang or like one of mine that I wrote and all that stuff, and hearing them like that's a great say to me that's a great song, or I love that song, or when you played that song I thought about this moment in my life, and that's what makes it special to me is the personal interaction that people get out of what I do, and that's more rewarding than the money is all the time.
That's awesome. I hope keep it that way. But I mean, what we've seen from you, you're really talented.
Thank you.
Um, so do you have any gigs where you play, closer to Atlanta at all, or?
No, I haven't made it that south yet. It's mainly been around here because it's just hard to get your foot in the door a lot of places, and I don't really have like a manager or anybody like that going out and booking people. But my dad's more my manager as far as that part of it, because he goes and checks in places for me a lot of times on his way home. But I go out to places too, and we try. But a lot of people are already booked in advance and all, and that's hard for me to schedule. And I'll be moving up to Nashville for school, going to Belmont in August 17th. So I got to start from scratch basically until I come back home. But hopefully, gonna find some places up there.
Oh, we got one person that already chimed in. It's Parker, and he's already asking if he can hear you play some music. Um, let's do a couple more questions first. But so what are your future plans?
Well, I'm going up to Belmont in the fall in August. So going to go there for school right now. I'm going to be majoring in songwriting. May or may not change from now, but I'm going to go up there and live there for the next 4 years and see where life takes me up there and open doors, hopefully. But going up there and hopefully going to be able to play like I do here around the city, around Tennessee, in between here and there, wherever the road takes me, I guess. But just try to make it on doing what I'm doing. Hopefully, not have to get a real job.
So you have any future projects you're going to be working on?
I'm hopefully going to be in the studio toward the end of this month working on 3 songs. I'm wanting to do an album eventually, but right now I'm going to start off with doing 3. These are going to be my 3 singles that I'm wanting to put out, and hopefully we're going to get those done. And that way, wait, it'll probably be a while, but hopefully we can get something out for people to listen to of all my original stuff. So hopefully I can get my songs out there for everybody.
Cool. So let's talk about some hobbies. So obviously you got some vinyl on your wall back there.
Yeah.
Uh, So other than the vinyl, but we can talk about that too. What other hobbies do you have outside of music?
Um, just as far as like keeping myself busy or like going out and hanging out with friends and interacting with people, social or like just me.
What do you do like hobbies, enjoyment?
Okay. For okay, I'm gonna split it into the two. Social, it's going to church, going to youth group, going to parties and events and stuff, going out to eat and all that stuff, hanging out with friends and family. And then for myself, like just me, I have a '94 F-150 that I bought out of on a spur, like on a spur of the moment kind of deal. I wanted a truck to go. I wanted something to fix up, so that's what I bought. And right now it's in the paint shop getting painted, so hopefully I can get it back before I go to college. But we'll see. Either way, it'll be all right. But looking forward to having it back too and getting to enjoy it too. But I do that, and then before I started music, I drew a lot. So here lately, I've been drawing more often, and just depends on thing. But most of the time, I'm writing songs and performing and playing and recording and doing whatever, messing around.
So if you got a little bit of artist in you, I mean, other than music, so you think you'd be designing your own album cover?
I've done that, yeah. I've been doing that and messing around with different ideas, toying around, and um, I was gonna try to do a cartoon thing, but it didn't end up working out. So I just went back into the digital. I designed my logo that's on all my business cards and stuff. So I did that, and and it makes it really easy on me to be blessed with these dual kind of things because it takes a lot away from me from not being able to be like, hey, I gotta go give this to a graphic designer to get this logo and all. But it's
Right.
good to kind of I try to do as much as I can. I'll put it that way. But I don't want to put out anything bad. That's why I'm meeting with a producer in a studio to try to record these albums instead of doing like I do on YouTube for everybody.
All right. Well, Scott Reeves just chimed in. He wants know about that telly behind you.
It's nothing special, I'll tell you that right now. It's just a Mexican Telecaster I bought at Guitar Center a couple years back. I need to get it fixed up and tuned, but it doesn't have no special pickups or anything like that. It's one of those, I think it was called Nashville tellies. Like that was like the style or whatever it is. But I have that one, and I use it every once in a while. But it's like super twangy, and I think because it's not set right, it doesn't sound the way I want it to all the time. So I've used it a couple times. It's just figuring out that sound, But I'm not much of a gearhead. I built my Stratocaster that I've had in a couple videos now. I love that thing. That thing's great. It's a Warmoth body and Fender pickups and neck and all, and I love that thing. It's great for my electric.
I think I've heard your telly in a video. It didn't sound too bad either. Um, and it looked like you had a line 6 amp. That's what you're using.
Yeah, that's what this one is. I don't know all the specifics on it. I don't remember exactly. I know some of my things and some of them I don't. That kind of deal. But
Right.
it's a good digital amp.
I, if somebody said, "All right, try to give me a country sound," I would be totally lost. I don't know how I would figure that out and get that nice country sound. And obviously, you do it video after video. I don't know what the secret is. What do you do?
For me, it's just I'd say the main part of a country sound is simplicity and also twang, if that makes sense. So like not too much because then you get into the not understanding you kind of deal. And some people like that, but that's not always for me. Put it that way. But like what I do in my videos is I always start out with acoustic guitar for the most time or a bass track, and then I just layer and layer all the different instruments on the thing just to get it kind of built up to this final thing, and then I do vocals. Just depends on which one I do first, or if my voice is bad one day or good another day. Good takes, depending on all that.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've going from like Tom Petty's about as close as you can get to probably country without being country, and then you get
Mm,
that country sound, and I've just never figured out how you get that sound, but you obviously knock it out of the park. So
thanks. I try. Um I don't want to try to be something I'm not, but I don't really. For me, I don't. It's not. Um, People get in this argument about the different things, and I've had my fair share of like that's not country and all, or I don't want to listen to that. But I mean, the Chris Stapleton said in an interview one time, and I completely agree with him. It's music's music, and a good song's a good song, no matter what the sound is or what classifications it is, and all that stuff. So just I try to write what I like and put out what I want to listen to. If that makes sense.
So, what are some of your influences in songwriting? Other, you got artists as well. You can talk about that, but other than artists, what else do you include?
So like for the sound wise, it's really just a product of what I'm listening to a lot of times. Here lately, the last few songs I've written, they've been heavily influenced by Sturgill Simpson and his first album because I've recently started listening to him more, him and Tyler Childers and all those guys, all the kind of indie country slash red dirt country, all those people. Cody Jinks, another big one. Um, I like their sound and I try to emulate that a lot. And then Chris Stapleton, same way. I try to emulate him too. And Eric Church. It's a big connection of a bunch of different people because my dad, he introduced me to like 80s classic rock and all that stuff, 70s, 80s, all those stuff. And I say listening to that growing up and listening to all the 2000s country and stuff and then like the 90s country of course because we had CDs. My dad had a bunch of CDs in his truck that we listened to on the way to school and stuff, and that shaped what I listened to too. And I'd branch out once I figured out what iTunes was and figured out how to go and find new stuff and dive in. And then I got Spotify, and then that opened up even more doors, and I started finding all these different people that aren't mainstream and kind of develop my sound even better because of that. But I have like, how do I got it there? Yeah, and those on the wall are a lot of them are art pieces at the same time as they are albums that I really like. But like people like Foreigner, I like them a lot. I can't hit those high notes, but I love listening to them. And then like Blackberry Smoke, that's another big one. They're a Southern rock band from I think they're from Marietta. It might just be Atlanta, but it's one of the two, and they're really, really good. I like them. I got their signed EP a few months ago. I was really excited about that. They have the acoustic EP, the Southern Ground Sessions, and I really like that album. It's a good one. And I got a bunch of old country now, just stacks upon stacks of vinyl. It's crazy, but it's just a bunch of stuff. But I'd say I gravitate around the older country sound I'm more of a purist than I am an experimentalist, put it that way.
So, what's your rarest vinyl?
I honestly have no clue, but I have a lady was nice enough to give dad a bunch of vinyl that he brought home, and we sorted through them, and I picked one. I think one of the coolest ones I had. It was like Buck Owens at the White House or something. I have no clue if it's rare or not. I don't think it is, but it's just really, I think it's pretty cool to have.
Cool. Um, so you want to play a little bit for us?
Sure.
And if anybody has any questions, and you can send them through, because there's obviously I see a lot of people listening to this, and he would love to take your questions. Is Brianna and Mac? They said hi.
Hey. Um. Okay. So I guess I'll play a few of my own or play whatever. I'll do covers, whatever y'all want me to do. So
Yeah,
just let him
Parker.
know and he'll tell me.
Parker just wrote. Stacy said she loved your original song from Open Mic Night a couple weeks ago. I hope we get to hear that.
Yeah, sure. I'll play that one real quick. Um. Yeah, it's indeed. I I'd sent this one off with a couple other new ones to copyright this morning. Had to get that squared away. That's a big part for me is like getting them all recorded and written down and registered and all that, so I can go out and play them and stuff like that, and not have to worry about things. But I don't know. It gets frustrating a lot of times because I gotta wait and all this build up and all. But
Yeah, I've talked to Scott Reeves before about that. He was like, "Yeah, you got to copyright your stuff like quick as you can, you know." And he says it's not hard to do, but you just got to do it.
yeah, it's not hard. It's just time consuming, like a lot of things.
So, all right, well, let's hear something. Hopefully,
All right.
this internet will work for us.
Yeah, I hope so. So it'll probably be a little bit sped up and slowed down, just forewarning you. But this one's hard work. This is what I played at the open mic. It's just a song. I took the chorus and wrote it first, and then I kind of took some elements from my life about me and my papa, and from playing all that stuff, and then I kind of wrote the verses around it and kind of wrote this story. So this is called Hard Work. Dropped him off at his papa's place. Hadn't worked a day in his life. Had his patience put to the test. That hammer and nails put up a fight. His papa smiled as he watched him try. And at the end of the day, his papa looked him in the eye. Said hard work keeps you humble, hard living makes you old. There ain't nothing better than a warm heart when yours has been so cold. Always remember that Jesus is your friend, and that hard work always pays off in the end. Time had marched on down the road. That little boy was now all grown. Followed his passions wherever they led, writing and singing his songs. While the gravy train ain't come by yet, he always remembers the words his papa said. Said hard work keeps you humble, hard living makes you old. There ain't nothing better than a warm heart when yours has been so cold. Always remember that Jesus is your friend, and that hard work always pays off in the end. Well, I'm up here on this stage tonight, and all I can say is Papa sure was right. Hard work keeps you humble, hard living makes you old. There ain't nothing better than a warm heart when yours has been so cold. Always remember that Jesus is your friend, and that hard work always pays off in the end. That one's hard work.
That was awesome. That's just wow. You got an
Thanks.
amazing voice. So when did you figure out that you could sing?
Shoot, man. Singing. I don't know. I look back on a bunch of my old stuff where I thought I could sing. I'm like, ee. But I I started playing. Well, I started singing rather. I started singing in like talent shows and stuff like that around fourth grade. So however old I was then, like 8, 9, something like that. And then, of course, my voice changed and all that stuff. So and I didn't have my twang and sound quite right yet. So I a lot of my old recordings that I have from where I tried to do songs before YouTube, it's all like mono that it doesn't have that whatever the speaking tone is, I guess. I don't know what you call it, the dialect, I guess, but it sounds more like I was listening. I had made like a gospel album for a couple people, and it was like Jesus Loves Me or something, and it was like instead of Jesus loves me, this I know, it was more like Jesus loves me, this I know, and it was just like, oh God, looking back on it now. But
So did you take lessons at all?
um, yes and no. I didn't start off with, but like here recently, I took lessons for a few months, um, to and I learned a good amount, and it was the exercises and all, but it was just one of those things where I couldn't continue doing it, and I just fell into the spot where I wasn't really able to practice and wasn't able to like learn that much more with every lesson, so I quit that. But it was still really good, and it helped me out a bit, I think, because the lady who taught me, she taught me about like because I was having trouble with straining because I started playing and I was playing for like 3 hours, and my throat would get strained and it would hurt at the end of the night. So I came to her asking like, how do I fix that? And she taught me how to fix that. So sometimes it gets sore, but it's nowhere near what it was. So it totally helped me.
Well, you want to play one more, or you?
Whatever it is. I mean, whatever you have in store or whatever people are wanting to hear, I'll play.
Yeah, let's do one more. Scott Reeves said sounding good.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, I mean you're awesome, dude. You just keep doing what you're doing, and I can't wait to see what a couple years down the road has for you.
Me too, man. Me too. Hopefully it'll be good things, not bad things. But all right, this one's more familiar with people at my shows. I would think it would be more familiar. I do this one a lot, and that last song, "Hard Work," and this song, along with another one of my songs that I don't think many people have heard because it's hard for me to play, but those three are going to be the first ones that I record, and this song right here. I'm planning right now. This is all speculation at the moment, but I'm planning on this being my first single that I release whenever I go to release songs. And this one's called SOL and BFE. If you don't know what BFE stands for, you can look it up because I'm not going to tell you. But it means the middle of nowhere. I left home with nothing but my boots and an old six string. I can go anywhere I want it on faith, hope, love, and gasoline. Had my foot to the floor, just a little too much for that old CJ. Just my luck to be sitting here stuck on the side of some old highway. Out in the middle of BFE, with nothing and nobody. Headed out on the road with one thing in mind. Wasn't worried about the way things might go. There wasn't nothing I didn't already know. I thought that I was gonna be just fine. Thought I could make a killing out here living free. But now I'm SOL and BFE. We left town with nothing but our love and daydream. Each other was all we needed. No, we didn't need no rings. But a few years later, that didn't seem to matter anymore. I said no to a ring, so she packed my things and kicked me out the door. Out in the middle of BFE, with nothing and nobody. Headed out on the road with one thing in mind. Wasn't worried about the way things might go. There wasn't nothing I didn't already know. I thought that we were gonna be just fine. Thought we'd be together forever, you and me. But now I'm SOL and BFE. Out in the middle of BFE, with nothing and nobody. Headed out on the road with one thing in mind. Wasn't worried about the way things might go. There wasn't nothing I didn't already know. I thought that I was gonna be just fine. Thought I could make a killing out here living free. But now I'm SOL and BFE.
That was awesome. I wish this internet was um, working out a little bit better because it doesn't do you justice whatsoever. But your voice sounds amazing even with the internet being bad.
Well,
But
thanks.
so I know you mentioned a couple places you play and stuff. How can people, I guess, see your schedule or like when you're going to play? You know, they want to see where you're going to play. Where can they look it up?
They can go to my social medias. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. I don't know how to use Twitter. Don't Probably won't know how to use Twitter. But I have an Instagram and a Facebook. They're both the same username at Elliott Prather Music. All one word, no semicolon or no underscore, anything like that. It's Elliott Prather Music. You'll have the same picture of me holding the guitar. Um, but I post all of my schedules up then, like the week of, a lot of times, unless I get it like months in advance. I'll still promote and remind people and be like, hey, I'm playing this day at this place at this time. And then I post like all my YouTube video stuff, so all the alerts like, hey, a YouTube video's up. So post all that stuff there, and then happy 4th of July, all that stuff. I have um, just it's mostly my music stuff, but I still post a normal thing every now and then.
All right, I got the oddest question, and of course, it came from Scott Reeves. If all right, does Elliot like shrimp and grits? And if he does he prefer it his grits runny or dry?
I don't know about shrimp and grits, but I like grits, and I not runny. They're more. I like them more of like together. I like cheese grits. Put it that way. So I cook. When I make instant grits, I make them with milk and then I put cheese in them. So that should tell you how thick I like my grits.
So I didn't mean to. So cut you off on that. So what I'll do is I've already put his YouTube in the description down below, but I'll put his Instagram and Facebook stuff down there as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing him play live, because I'm telling you, like this video does not do any justice on how this kid sounds. Sorry, young man.
No problem.
But yeah. Anybody else has any more questions? Pop them up before we get off here, and we'll we'll give it to them to answer them.
Yeah,
I never had a question like that. That was an awesome question, Scott.
that was a great question.
But
Stuff like
I
that I
really
like answering because those things, you know.
yeah. So what's your next one? That's the your performance. That's the closest to us now. Like your next one. Do you have
Closest
one
one to
scheduled?
ball ground anyway where I am. Yeah, the closest one's going to be at Butts and Barley on the this Saturday 13th from 6 to 9.
Okay, sounds great. I really appreciate spending your Monday night with us,
For sure.
and that was a lot of fun. And maybe we can do this again, and maybe next time we'll do it in the same room, so it's a little bit better. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, yeah, like I said, the internet didn't do justice at all, but it sounded awesome, and I'm amazed by your talents.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here and participate on this thing. Yeah.
So anyway, once again, I appreciate it, and I guess we'll sign off, and um, we'll hopefully see you soon.
All right. Thank you, man. Bye, everybody.